On her first visit to the Middle East, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock has urged Israel and the Palestinians to restart the peace process. Baerbock started her trip with a visit to the Holocaust Memorial in Israel.
The Hall of Names at Yad Vashem, a memorial to the Jews lost during the Holocaust. Their names, their life stories and their photographs are collected here. An archive of the millions murdered, a culture decimated. It's a project to counter anyone who tries to deny or downplay the Nazi genocide. Anti-Semitism Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock says the world must stand up against, especially today.
It is our
absolute obligation as a younger generation to keep the memory alive, especially as there are fewer and fewer eyewitnesses among us. And it is our responsibility to raise our voice against anti-Semitism, against hatred and incitement, against exclusion and violence, so that such a crime against humanity never happens again. In the Hall of Remembrance, Baerbock commemorated the victims. She laid a wreath on the stone crypt containing the ashes of some of the Holocaust dead, brought to Israel from the extermination camps. From Yad Vashem, Baerbock travelled to meet her Israeli counterpart Yair Lapid and provide assurances that Germany's new coalition stands strongly in solidarity with Israel. But that doesn't mean the governments see eye to eye on all issues.
It's okay to have differences. We just had a long discussion, not only upon the things we agree on, but also the things we disagree on. And this is what friends do.
In line with previous German policy, Baerbock criticised Israel's settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories, saying she considered them harmful and in violation of international law. Keen to acknowledge both sides of the conflict, Baerbock ended the day's political meetings in Ramallah. There she pressed the Palestinian Authority leaders to hold long-postponed elections, saying that without them, the path towards meaningful negotiations with Israel and a two-state solution would remain closed.
All right, let's go now to our correspondent, Tanya Kramer. She is in Jerusalem, and she is following this visit by the German Foreign Minister. Good evening to you, Tanya. So talk to me about this first visit to Israel by Foreign Minister Baerbock.
Well, as you said, it was her first visit as Foreign Minister, and you have to understand she's not yet very well known here among the Israeli public. She's basically seen as a part of the younger generation of German politicians, so there was a lot of interest to see how she's going to position herself, maybe whether she has any other approach to certain topics. And the German Foreign Minister used her first official visit here to basically reassure Israeli leaders again, and I think there was also no doubt about that, that Germany stands, side by side to Israel, that it's a fundamental commitment to Israel as well, and to build on this special relationship between the two countries due to their shared past. But both foreign ministers, the Israeli Foreign Minister Yair Lapid, we've seen that in the report, and Annalena Baerbock, they had a very cordial meeting. It was a very friendly and warm meeting. They also talked about their differences, mainly Israel's concerns when it comes to the nuclear talks in Vienna that are ongoing there. But the German Foreign Minister also used the occasion to criticize Israel's settlement policies and also, said there's a need to keep the two-state solution alive. So some continuity, but she also set her own agenda to raise an issue that we usually don't hear so much on these occasions, the climate crisis.
And the foreign minister, she also visited Ramallah today, and her stance on reviving the Middle East peace process is clear. She wants a restart, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. But I mean, it was interesting to see that she really emphasized, the idea of a peace process. Although, many people here, if you would ask them, there is no trust that something like this will happen any time soon. There has been no political process whatsoever here in recent years. That's completely stalled. But she said she wants to re-engage, all sides to find ways to talk to each other, because the so-called status quo that is here at the moment is simply not sustainable. And I think this will also follow her now when she leaves Ramallah and then continues her visit in Jordan and then also in Egypt, that are also two major players in this regard in the region.
DW's correspondent Tanya Kramer reporting tonight from Jerusalem. Tanya, thank you.